Hey, welcome to a new video. In today's video, I'm going to be changing out my perfectly good lithium iron phosphate batteries with brand new lithium iron phosphate batteries. And the reason why I'm doing this is my battery tray itself. I only have room for one more battery. So the maximum I could ever get in here is 500 amp hours of battery, and that's just not enough for our use. So I got these 300 amp Epoch batteries, 300 each, so I'll have a total of 900 amp hours of lithium batteries. Now, going with these batteries, nothing wrong with these batteries. They're actually pretty premium grade, but again, I could only install one more, and they come with a pretty hefty premium. One of the most important features why I went with this battery is that they're low temperature and self-heating like these. So the low temperature feature, how it works is if it gets to freezing or about 32 degrees Fahrenheit, your batteries won't charge, and that just protects the battery from damage. Well, the problem with that is if you're doing cold weather camping, all your batteries can do is deplete, and they'll never be able to charge, so they'll become basically useless. In a couple of days, you'll actually run out of power because there's no way you can charge them in low temperature. Now, when you do shopping on many different batteries, many of them won't have that self-heating feature. And how that self-heating works is it actually takes it from your charger itself. So if it gets below 32 degrees or at 32 degrees, the heater will kick on, warm up the batteries, and the batteries can charge. So that is the reason I got these batteries. The other thing too is I did make some changes to my battery compartment. Now my battery compartment is totally sealed from the elements and also insulated. And I made this little hole here, so through the pass-through or the next compartment over, that compartment is heated as well. So I get some passive air on heated air coming through here. And then on top of that, my original batteries here, these are IP67 rated, so you'll have to look up the IP rating, which means these can actually be left out in the water, exposure to full water. And these are only IP54, so this is the Essential series, which means this is just dust proof and splashes of water. I don't know if I would use this battery if you're going to leave it out in the elements completely. It's probably not the right fit. They do have a one model up that is IP67 rated. So we're going to go ahead and put these in. Because of this footprint, you'll fit in there perfectly. I could probably put one more in, but I wanted to start out with 900 amp hours of battery. So let me get this started. Okay, we will get this started. Now, very important, what you didn't see on camera is I've disconnected all my solar on my roof, so there's no power source coming in here. I'm also not hooked up to any shore power at all. So when you're disconnecting a battery, it took me the longest time to figure out why you disconnect the main negative battery first. But you want to do that because if you start out with the positive and you end up hitting this against the metal or somewhere a ground source, where this ground is already hitting a ground source, you'll have a massive spark. So you always want to disconnect the negative battery first. And then of course, installation would be the opposite order. I'm going to go ahead and take out this main negative cable. There we go. So that's just a 13 millimeter wrench here. Then here's my main positive. I'm going to go ahead and take that off as well. Before I do that, I do see another negative here. I'm going to take this off. I think this is to my macerator. It's been a while since I've done this, so. Okay, then my next is my main positive here. All right. I forgot to mention, before you start and taking all these wires off, you may want to take a picture of this. All right, with that off, I have these battery straps. I'll take these off and this should be a pretty simple removal. All right, now I got the straps done. Thankfully, these are lithium batteries, so they're pretty light. Like I mentioned, there's nothing wrong with these batteries. These are premium batteries. So if I could have gotten bigger ones for a relatively good cost, I would have went with them again. But I have plenty of other projects I can use these for. This gives me a good chance to clean up this battery compartment. Alright, before I put these new batteries in, this metal edge here, this is a metal tray. I'm going to put some tape on here because these new batteries are much heavier than the old batteries, just because they're a larger form factor. So I don't want to scrape the battery up bad. These batteries, when I put it on the scale, it was about 68 pounds. So let me give you a comparison of the two batteries as well. Alright, here's the two batteries side by side here. So this is 100 amps and this is 300 amps. And if you really look at it, let me see if I can do a comparison here. This battery is just a little bit taller. You'll have to check the specifications how much taller it is. The length is about the same, just a little bit larger, a tad bit larger. You can see how much it overhangs on this side. And then it's wider as well. So if you look here, there's the difference. Obviously you can go on the manufacturer's website and it'll tell you the exact dimensions, but I've already done my pre-measurements and 3 of these will fit in there easy. The 4th one would be a struggle getting in there, but it is possible. But I think I'll just start out with these 900 amp hours worth of batteries. Just like this one, it does say low temperature. This low temperature is also heated. I don't think it says anywhere that it is heated, but it is a heated battery, as well as this one. It does say self-heating. It does have a Bluetooth function. The app looked, I tried it out, the app looked pretty terrible, but I do have a Victron shunt already, so I'll be able to monitor these batteries pretty easily. So let's go ahead and get these installed. Right, like I mentioned, these are pretty heavy. These are about 58 pounds each. Yeah, it looks like they'll be easy to put in an additional battery if I wanted for the 1200 amp hours. But the issue I have, I wouldn't say the issue is, these are still pretty expensive. These are about almost $1,000 a piece. I got these on a Black Friday deal, so I think I got them for about $750, but haven't seen a price better than that. I'm really not going to do a follow-up video on the performance of these. There's actually plenty of videos out there. So I did my homework before I got these. Like I said, the batteries, there's an abundant amount of choices, and you have to use your, obviously you have to do your own research and make sure they're safe to your standards. But based on my research, these seem like, we'll call it the best budget priced batteries. We'll call it on the higher end of the budget batteries, but much better priced than anything like a Battleborn or these Relions. Those Relions were actually more expensive than the Battleborn batteries. So the major thing I saw a difference between the batteries, which I wish these had, but I didn't see any documentation on the actual UL listing of the batteries itself. You know, all the battery cells have a UL listing. They pretty much all use the same type of cells, but the entire battery, we'll call it as an assembly. I think Epoch does have a battery that is UL listed as an assembly, but this particular one, I didn't see anything. And if they do have it, they should advertise it a little bit more, because that would have gave me a little bit more peace of mind. But overall, like I said, I've seen plenty of reviews. These aren't new, they've been out for a while, so that's why I went with these batteries. Now I'm just gonna wire them up, and because I only have 3 batteries, I'll have some cables left over. And if you can see, the manufacturer used, even when they did their paralleling, the other batteries had the terminals on opposite ends. So these are really big wires. When I say big, longer than necessary. But I'm gonna make do with what I have, because these cables are pretty expensive. So we'll get these wired up and do a final connection. Before I wire these up too, I want to get my battery straps on and attached, so I have some wiggle room in here before I make my final assembly here. So let me go ahead and do that first. All right, I have the batteries strapped on here nicely. Now I'm going to basically parallel these configurations, and I'm just using the actual bolts that came with the battery. We'll start with the positive here first. Not sure if there's a proper order for this or not, but that's what I'm doing here. Be nicer if I had shorter battery cables, but like I said, I'm gonna make do with what I have. The gauge is thick enough, it's just the wire management a little more than necessary here. Go ahead and tighten these up. So we're gonna do the same thing for the negative cables. I'm coming back the opposite way here. Let's see if I can move this out of the way here. So I won't go into the technicals of how everything is wired up, but I'm gonna put my positive on here first with these cables over here, and then hook up my negative main cable last with this parallel cable here. I wish these would have came with a little longer bolts. These bolts are really hard to work with, and I don't know if my cable's going to reach. Looks like it's not going to. So another item I need to do is I need to reposition this. The cable itself is long enough, but the way it's coming out, I need to actually have it come down from the bottom. Right, I have everything all wired up, and I'm about to turn everything on. Like I mentioned, I'm not going to go over the performance of the battery itself. You can do your own research on that, but really simple upgrade overall. That's it for this video. We'll see you on the next video.